Okay, are we live? Hey guys, this is Bobby Clue with the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce. We're back at it again. You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Let's try it now. Can you hear me now? There we go. That's what happens when you're live sometimes. So, here with the Somerset-Pulaski County Chamber of Commerce, we're back at it again for another one of our virtual ribbon cuttings. So we are out today with Protea Recovery 360. I'm here with Teri Rust and Jen Wolf.
Yes.
So thank you all for being here. To give everybody a frame of reference on where we're located, Highway 27 and Highway 2227 is basically where we're at. We're right across from where the Over Easy Bistro used to be, I believe is what that was. And I see Dr. Burkett's Somerset Animal Hospital's right over there. So basically right at the intersection is where we are. And you've got a huge campus.
We do.
Here now. So thank you all for taking a little bit of time. The reason we do this, just to explain to everybody, is some people just, you know, they don't feel comfortable coming out into the world yet. Or some people might not be able to come out at lunchtime. And in the comfort of their homes or their offices, they can learn a little bit more about Protea. So can you tell us a little bit about what you guys do and the services you provide here?
I can. We are Protea Recovery 360, and we have within that company, we have Protea Behavioral Counseling, and we have Protea Auto Group, which is down the lot from here. What we do is substance use treatment. We also do mental health treatment. We house our clients here in Somerset at 2 different men's and women's facility. We treat them for their substance use with IOP, case management, individual counseling, peer support is a big part of our program. And they do that 4 hours a day. Another 4 hours a day they're in the training center down here learning how to work on cars, detail cars, upholster, service writing, car sales, office work. We just kind of try to teach them a trade. They will have the skills they need to be employed in the community when they finish the training.
You know, which is a huge component of this. You know, obviously with recidivism, I mean, the biggest component is to get them a job and to get them into the workforce and make them feel valued, and they're going to be productive members of this society. I mean, that's all a lot of people want is an opportunity. And the fact that you have a campus, this is kind of unique too. So we've talked with other behavioral groups here in town. One thing that immediately sets you all apart for me is this campus down here that you have on site where you're doing training for different job opportunities. Is that something we could maybe walk down here and just take a look at? We just walk and talk a little bit?
Yeah, we're very proud of this part of the 360. It is what makes us the 360.
Sure.
One thing with the training though, we believe that it's easy to get a job. It's hard to keep a job. We want to teach them something for their careers. So we want to teach them also the skills they need to keep jobs or to deal with things that happen on jobs. You know, different things that might affect them, might upset them during their jobs. So we stay in contact with them on the jobs too. We continue counseling with them. They usually don't get a job until they're out of the IOP, which is because our IOP
What does IOP, what is that?
It's intensive outpatient.
Okay.
It lasts for 16 weeks, and they go 16 hours a week, or 12 hours a week for 4 days, 3 hours each day.
Oh, wow.
And they're in treatment. And then when they're not in treatment, they're in training.
How long does treatment usually last?
We say for 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Because the IOP lasts for 16 weeks, the OP lasts for 8 weeks, and OP is outpatient. And then they go into aftercare. And aftercare is where we meet with them individually. When they're on their job, we try to help them deal with life on life's terms. And we try to get them housing, their own independent housing at that point.
Sure.
So it's kind of it's a lot in the OP. It's like a lot of the clients will go, it's supposed to get easier as you go along. Well, the treatment part gets easier, the life part gets a little more difficult. So dealing with the different things.
Life's always hard.
Exactly, that's what we tell them. I always tell them, if your mama said life was easy, she lied to you. Life is difficult. So we're trying to just help them encounter those difficulties, break down those barriers so they don't have these barriers, to give them their confidence.
And I bet a lot of the people that you see in recovery, they've never learned any of these things before. It's like starting from scratch. So you're having to train them on skills that maybe we take for granted.
Yes.
They've probably never learned before. So
or they didn't have a good role model to learn from, or they did and they lost it in their addiction.
Sure.
And so they've got to restructure their brains to.
It's almost like you have to reboot your brain, and you have to think about life a little bit differently. And the fact that you're getting these people, on the right track, you're finding them work opportunities, and then you're teaching them how to keep those opportunities. Those are great things.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot that comes with this as well as probably financial and money management, and there's so many things that probably come along with the treatment and the training and whatnot.
Our case managers and our peer support are very big in that aspect. They're the ones that work with teaching them their ADLs, their activities of daily living, what it is you need to do with your money, because a lot of our clients haven't had money in their pocket. All of a sudden they do, and they want this whole list. And so we talked about wants versus needs. We all want things, but what do we need to survive? What do you need to get your own place, to get your independence? To the ultimate goal is to become a pro-social member of society in Somerset, or wherever they choose to live, hopefully Somerset, but so that they have that foundation to give back to the community when they get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, another thing that, and I don't know if you can hear me or not,
but we can hear you.
One of the bigger things is that we do, collectively as a culture, we do really good at addressing acute symptoms of substance use disorder. It's the chronic issues such as having a job, having relationships, having sober activities in the community, having a bank account, having a driver's license, having a social security card. All of those things is what we're not, and that's what we're trying to change, is that as a whole across the nation, we don't do a very good job of addressing the chronic symptoms. We do a great job at addressing the acute symptoms. So our rehabs, where you spend 28 days to kind of clear the fog. But it takes 2 years for a person's brain's serotonin levels to get back to where you and I are on a daily basis. So that's a big issue, and that's what we are trying to address here.
Well, and God bless you for doing it. It's incredibly important. We take a group of community leaders and we do a tour of our jail every year, and most of the time, most of those people have never been in the jail. And when you talk to the jailer, he'll tell you something that's very, it hits you like a ton of bricks. He'll tell you that 99% of the people that are in our jail are in there for a drug-related crime of some sort. And then he will also tell you that 99.9% of those people are repeat offenders. So it's the same people doing the same things over and over and over again. And if you can just break that cycle and work on breaking that cycle with some of those people, I think it would be a tremendous opportunity. We also talk a lot, and I talked with Melissa at Skyhope about this quite often, is that in my field, we deal with our business community, and we talk with employers daily that can't find enough employees. They daily they can't find employees, and I told Melissa, and I'll tell you guys the same thing. There is a ready-made workforce that you all are putting out into our community here. These people are going to be sober. They're going to show up on time. They're probably going to show up early. They want to work, and it's a great opportunity for businesses. So we encourage them to really look at giving people a second chance. And I think the mentality there's changed tremendously in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yes, it has. But we also provide transportation.
Oh, that's
great.
So
another issue a lot of times with this population is that they don't have a car. They don't have a driver's license for several years. And so we provide transportation here as well, to and from work. So there's another side of that.
Which is another part of it called Protea on the Go. I didn't mention that. Sorry, Protea on the Go.
And then I know you also mentioned that at some point you guys are going to be building a men's recovery center and possibly even a woman's recovery center as well in the future. A lot of big plans.
Yeah, we have broken ground up here for a 30-bed men's recovery house, and then we bought the Tracks In
kitchen.
Bought the Tracks In as our Protea Women's Recovery Center.
That's fantastic.
So
that's breaking news. I don't know if anybody knows that. So that's exciting. So is the restaurant going to still be functioning, or how will that work?
As far as a definitive answer to that, I don't have. I know that we need it. We talked about it being catering. We talked about it being the restaurant. We will have a residential center on the top floor of the hotel, and so we will need to supply food to them. So we'll have a ready-made.
I will tell you right now that one of the areas that's in desperate need of workers in this community right now is food service in every capacity.
Yes.
And if that's maybe turns into a training model.
That's what, that's what we talked about.
For culinary skills and just the, everything in that food service area, that's a home run.
Well, one of our peer sport is actually a trained chef.
Oh,
so he's going to be in charge of that.
Oversee that for us,
and that part of the training program.
I can tell you there will be a lot of casual dining restaurants and eateries here in this community that will want to reach out to you all.
Awesome.
You might want to reach out to them too, because I will tell you, the Wings and Rings and the Texas Roadhouses and the Chili's, they are desperately trying to find people to work in those restaurants. So I would, that sounds like a good relationship right there. Yeah. So
go
please,
circle back real quick with the jail story that you told us. So we are also a DOC approved program. So we went to the state and we provided them with all of our information. So any of the clients that come here that are DOC, Department of Corrections, they actually get 90 days. As long as they finish our IOP, they get 90 days off of their sentence at the end off of that. And we spend a lot of time working. That's another one of those chronic symptoms, which is legal issues. And so what we do is we spend a lot of time cleaning those up so that they can reclaim their lives.
Sure. Judge, our jailer, Anthony McCollum here in Pulaski County, is a huge supporter of what you guys are doing. He's working with, like I said, our Economic Development Authority. He's working with our city and our county to give these inmates an opportunity when they leave. They really want, everybody here, I think for the most part, is on the same page that we want to see these people in a recovery model, because it benefits our entire community.
It does.
So we very much want to see that, and we have a lot of support in the right places already here. So I'm very cautiously optimistic that I think you guys are going to do great here. So
thank you.
We're
pretty proud of it.
Good. Good. So to put it into just as a frame of reference for everybody, once again, Protea Recovery 360. We're here essentially at the intersection of Highway 27, right past Big Lots, and the intersection of Highway 2227. So kind of where you turn to go to Summer Splash or Cal Ripken, where I spend most of my time. Right here on the corner, they have their campus. I would encourage you all to learn more about what they're doing. It's really good work. You guys are doing a lot of great work for our community, and thank you all for being chamber members. I really appreciate it. I know you don't have to be, and the fact that you chose to be, I appreciate that very much. Thank you all.
We appreciate everything you've done for us so far.
Well, we'll continue. We'll do more
in the future, I hope.
And we try and stay local with everything. We do our printing locally. We buy everything from this, from this area, just so that we can put
I didn't tell him to say that. That's great.
He was telling me about a place that builds picnic tables.
Right.
Absolutely.
We need more.
Well, that's the kind of some of the information that the chamber can always, we know where a lot of things are, and we're pretty good concierge services. So if you need things, we usually have somebody that we can forward you to locally here that can do it.
Awesome.
It's we talk about how you don't have to go out of town for these services. They're right here in your backyard. So guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over here. There's a huge group of people that have formed. We are going to go over here and we're going to do a live in-person ribbon cutting. So stay tuned until our next virtual ribbon cutting. We have another one next week, and until then, ladies, thank you all
thank you
so much for being with us. Guys, stay tuned. Thank you. Have a good night.